Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today you find me out on another walk. Today I've come to visit the Trundle, which is an old Iron Age or Neolithic hill fort just north of Chichester in West Sussex. First time I've been here, so it'd be interesting to have a look around, taking advantage of the wonderful weather today, lack of wind and beautiful clear skies. So originally I did think I would be able to get some drone footage, but having arrived on site and checking the local flying permissions, because there is a small airport, you're not allowed to fly here, so sorry, but no drone footage for today. So parked up in the car park at the top of Chalkpit Lane. Chalkpit Lane is an old green lane that goes down from the Trundle towards Chichester, and it's an off-road road, green lane. Have made passes in that road in the Jeep before, so if you want to go and have a check out those videos, you can. There's also some more technical off-road bits at the top of it. Decided not to tackle that myself last time in the Jeep, simply because didn't have any support crew or winches, so yeah, decided to not get stuck and have to get somebody to help me get recovered. So we're taking the traditional long walk up. There are lots of different ways to get to the Trundle, but this is my preferred car park. It's just got spectacular views. There's a little coffee bar down there as well, and there are other walks off in other directions into the Westdean estate. So if you've not been to the Trundle before, you've probably seen it from afar. It's the site of this horrific telephone mast, and just noticed below there, even more horrific, a little 5G antenna there. Let's hope I'm getting a good phone signal here. Yeah, just approaching the south west gate. So it's similar in design to Chanctonbury and Cissbury Ring, located north of Worthing. This is what they called a causewayed enclosure. So originally thought to be built around 3,500 years BC, and the causeway is obviously that you've got this dip and bank, and then much bigger bank. They're not quite sure what the purpose of this is. It's supposed it's for fortification. So obviously you could have posts on this enclosure, and then another enclosure, and then posts on the top of that. And the purpose of that would be that if you did have people attacking, you're going to have a great vantage of the attackers before they get to you, and then they're going to be slowed by this this ditch. The other possible reason for having this is that you're quite a long away from a water source, and obviously if you lined this with clay, you could make this into a moat, and when rainwater lay, it would sit in this and create a water barrier and also a water source for you up on the downs. So here we reach the trig point, the highest point of the hill. This is 676 feet above sea level, which we can see over there. Also we got some tumuli or earthworks in the centre here, So Trundle is believed to come from the word Trundle, an Old English word meaning circle, and it's not quite a circle, but it is a circular encampment. And around the time that this would have been built, the Regini would have been in this area, formerly known as the Atrebates, coming out of the Netherlands area. I've spoken about this before in some of my other videos. If you are new here, if you could just like and subscribe in the bottom right hand corner, and it will help me to make more videos. But yeah, in some of my other videos I've walked down the old Roman roads, visited parts of Roman Chichester. So I've spoke about these tribes in my previous videos. So with these tumuli, generally speaking, they're a mound, and they have the centre removed like this, supposedly by grave robbers. So right next to me we've got a couple of earthworks here. Not sure what these are from, but there's been lots of previous habitation up here. There was a windmill up on the top here. Bit of brick there sticking out, and there was also a chapel built up here dedicated to Saint Roche, and this hill is also referred to as Roche Mount. Saint Roche was a patron saint of dogs, and the chapel was built in 1507 and was believed to be built to pray for the people of Chichester during the plague. It was came into disuse in the 1700s, and later there was a Masonic lodge up here, and also in World War II there were some radio masts up here used as part of the radar system that defended Britain, probably in the locations of these horrific radar masts. But if you're down below, it's obviously a good way to see the Trundle from Chichester area. So great views from up here. Over in the distance there we've got Hownacker Windmill. Filmed a previous video at Hownacker Windmill as I traced the Roman road over from Bignor Hill, just over in that direction, marked out by the two masts you may be able to see on the horizon. Also looking that way we can see Chichester and Chichester Cathedral spire dominating the landscape in that direction, and in this direction we have got the Isle of Wight. Over on this side of the Trundle we've got the glorious Goodwood Racecourse, originally set up in 1802 by the Duke of Richmond, now famous for his motor racing exploits more than horse racing, but it's obviously still an active horse racing venue. So these stands here are a lot more modern than the original ones built in the 1980s, and this one at the end here in the 1990s. When the racecourse was set up in the 1800s, this area here would not be allowed to be accessed by the public, because the racegoers didn't want people watching the races for free, so all of this would have been fenced off. They later relented to that and allowed the public to come up to the Trundle and view the races, and the BBC would film from here, and this was the first place in the country for a commentary to be put over the races, and then that was followed suit for all of the other horse racing venues around England. Over on the western side we've got a footprint of a previous building. Comment down below if you know what this used to be. It's It's obviously relatively new, made of brickwork, so I would imagine it's something to do with the World War II radar network, being that it's located right next to the modern one. So from right up here we can see the slopes down to the ditch and the outer embankment, but looking over here we can see the embankment going into the ring is much shallower than some of the other hill forts like Cissbury. This one is smaller in size than Cissbury but bigger than Chanctonbury, somewhere in the middle. So if you're into driving, there's some amazing driving roads in this area. Probably why people have been so enthusiastic about cars, like at the Goodwood Festival of Speed and the actual Goodwood racecourse, which is built round an old airport, World War II airport. But whilst you're up here you can often hear people racing up and down this hill. And one hilarious moment, I saw a guy in an old MR2, probably a fellow YouTuber like me. Roof was down, he had a roll bar, and attached to the roll bar was this pole probably about 3 meters long, and attached to the end of that pole is a GoPro, and that would obviously be providing him with video footage of his drive. But the pole was it was 3 meters long, it was bouncing all over the place. The footage would have been completely unusable. It did make me giggle a little bit. So making my way back to the car now. Hope you'll be able to hear me okay, because it is quite windy up here. I have got the external microphone on with the fluffy and tucked into my shirt, but still hoping the audio is going to be okay. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you could like and subscribe, it will help me to make more videos just like this.